What's going on, guys? Tazzy Cookie coming back for another Battlefield 3 commentary this week. And of course, today is a special day. It's Father's Day, as you are all aware. So it got me thinking, why not get the man himself in here and do a dual comm with my father? So if you want to go ahead, Dad, and give yourself a little introduction and tell the viewers and my subscribers what you're all about.
Well, hi. Hello, everyone. I am, in fact, Taz Cook's father,
That's right.
and, and my name is Bruce, and I'm the cook. I'm the original cook.
That's
Uh,
right, yeah.
yeah. And Taz Cook is my son, so let's start there.
So there you go. Yeah, so you heard it from the man himself. His name is The Cook. I go by Taz Cook, and the reason why I adopted his last name is because I thought it was only, right, because traditionally you're supposed to take your father's last name. So my name is Taz Cook, and that's one of the main reasons why I've adapted Cook into my name. So if that's what you guys have been wondering, a few of you have asked in the past, what's Cook stand for, and what's the meaning behind it? Well, now you guys know. So, how do you get your nickname? How did you get your nickname, The Cook, Dad?
Well, actually, it's a funny story,
Let's hear
and
it.
yeah, it's well about I guess maybe 15 years ago, or maybe a little earlier. I was playing online
Hmm.
with one of the original Call of Duty games, video games,
Okay,
and I belonged to a clan called OFC.
I remember.
Now, OFC, that's the first clan that you ever joined, actually.
That's
But
correct.
before you were introduced to that clan, I was playing in that clan. Now, for those of you who may or may not know, clans are kind of special groups that you're invited into, right, Taz?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So, and when you're invited in, you go through a probationary period, of course, and if they like you, well, then you're accepted into the clan. Now, not knowing too much about clans at that time, I'm speaking for myself here,
Yeah.
or the protocol and procedures about how you should act
Of course. Yeah.
in games and on in clans. I approached it with kind of a humorous point of view. And if you remember Taz Cook,
I remember.
but if you remember back then with the Call of Duty, the way it was set up, it was designed in a way where you were either American or British, or you could be German.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was Russian players
Not
back
at that
then.
time. No. I think we're talking about the first Call of Duty. So yeah. No.
Yeah, okay. So I chose a German character,
Every
and
time you played. Yeah.
yeah, it was very interesting actually because you could go in at that point and you could choose a uniform. You
That's
could
right. Yeah.
be an artillery man, or a Air Force, or
That's right.
so on and
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah.
forth.
We're speaking of Medal of Honor. That's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Was it Medal of Honor?
Yes, it was Medal of
Okay.
Honor. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Medal of Honor. All right
I
then.
thought it was Call of Duty too. Yeah. No, you're right. You could pick your own uniform.
Yeah,
That's correct.
that's right. Yeah, and so I picked a uniform that kind of looked like, I think it was just an ordinary infantryman, but it was
Mhm.
one of the earlier uniforms they probably would have used in the first of the war, and it kind of reminded me, the uniform I'm speaking of, the uniform reminded me of a cook's uniform that they would have used in the army, right?
Yeah.
So being a German cook. Um, I came up with the handle, and it was a little, I guess, politically incorrect at the time, but I chose the handle Adolf Hitler's Cook.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny,
It is. It's
it's,
humorous. Yeah.
it's humorous, but I guess, I suppose as I mentioned, it would be probably very politically incorrect to use that handle. But anyway, I
Yeah.
went in using that handle,
And
and well, um, as it turned out, it wasn't a popular handle.
right.
Uh, I was asked to choose the handle, and you know what? I liked that handle. I thought it was quite funny at the time, and
It was a
I
good nickname. Yeah.
I liked it, and I took offense to being told that I couldn't use that handle, actually. And I got a little stubborn, so I continued to use the handle. Well, you know what happens, you get kicked.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what kicked means, of course.
Yeah.
I think they still use that term today.
That's correct. Yes, they do.
So I would get kicked and kicked and kicked, and I would, just to spite these people. By the way, these people became my very close friends over the years that I played this game. But in the beginning, I never knew them, and they never knew me. And it's like every other game you get into, you develop relationships. But anyhow, back to my story.
Yep.
So despite these people, as I was mentioning, I went in and I would continue to use Adolf Hitler's cook. Well, you know, eventually I got banned, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, permanently. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So I got a little sneaky, and I went in one day, and I went into the same clan, OFC, and I used to handle the cook.
The cook. So that's where it was.
But the cook, in exclamation marks, or in brackets rather, enclosed, not Adolf Hitler's cook.
So there you go.
That broke the ice, and then I got chatting with a couple of the leaders of that clan, and they explained to me how the procedures and policies worked, and of course then I understood, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's so I changed my handle, obviously, to I dropped the other silliness and just became the cook, and I am the cook to this day.
So there you go. That's how your name.
And you know what? I must add, I'm a pretty good cook in the kitchen as well.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So we're kind of coming to an end here. I think we have 3 more minutes, but I want to touch base. I want to touch base on one or two more things here.
Okay.
Do you remember when I came downstairs and started playing?
Yeah. Oh yes, indeed. In fact, you may have been. I think you might have been 12 or 14 years old. You know, in around there somewhere, and of course I had been playing this game, and I had been playing, and I'm in the clan now, and I'm quite familiar with my buddies, and you were just sitting on the floor watching TV, and you happened to notice me playing the video game. You came over and you got interested, and where you were so young, you know, being 12, 12 years old, a little hesitant.
And the technology at the time wasn't anywhere as where it is now too, right? So.
No, that's right, and it could be very graphic as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I was a little hesitant in allowing you to be introduced to, but you know, you broke me down.
Of course.
With your charm, you still got that charm, by the way.
Yeah.
And you know, I got you involved. You know, I introduced you to the game. I showed you the ropes and how to use, you know, certain weapons and how to maneuver and use strategy and so forth. And probably within 2 weeks of me showing you all of that, you became an expert in it, and you're much more better than I ever was.
And it's all history now. Yeah.
It's all history. Yeah. And here you are, TazCook.com. My God.
Yeah, really. That was also another story. But anyways, we're gonna have to bring this to a close.
Okay.
But I'm gonna offer you to come back on the channel and do another commentary with me, maybe in the future, Dad.
Well, sure. Thank you. I look forward to it. And I hope I've brought some insight into.
You definitely have.
To your fans and yourself, perhaps, to
you definitely have.
How it all began.
Yeah, no, and once again, you know, happy Father's Day. And
well, thank you, son. I really appreciate hearing that.
You're welcome. And until next time, I guess just Tazzy Cookie signing out. And if you want to go ahead and say goodbye, Dad.
Hey, it's the cook. Just saying, very gracefully, good night, folks.
There you go, from the man himself.